Hello, I'm Andrew, and today I am going to talk to you about the climate in the UK. So watch and listen. Right now, the time is 7:45 in the evening. It is 7:45 or 7:45 p.m. And today is Wednesday. Outside, the weather is okay. It is cloudy this evening. This evening, it is cloudy. Okay, so today I am talking about the UK climate. Now, what is the difference between climate and weather? Watch. Weather, like for example, today the weather is cloudy. Weather is short term. So weather is maybe tomorrow, 5 days time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days time, 1 week's time. Weather is short term. Climate is not short term. Climate is long term. For example, you can talk about the climate in a period of 12 months. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 12 months of the year. 12 months. January through December, 1 year. Climate, you can talk about 1 year, 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 100 years. The climate is stable, so the climate is always roughly the same. So you can predict the average temperature in June, for example, through different years, but on any one day, it is very difficult to predict the weather. So climate is long term, weather short term. Okay. Now, first I will take a map of the world and explain one thing that you should know about the UK. So, of course, the UK is quite far north, but considering how far north the UK is, it is actually quite warm. On the same latitude of the UK as Canada, Russia, Scandinavia, and slightly further north, Iceland, some of the coldest countries in the whole world, some of the coldest places. Yet the UK is not that cold. Why? Well, wind, the prevailing wind comes from here, like that. The prevailing wind comes from the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf Stream. And this keeps the UK warm during the winter, December, January, February, start of March, winter. It keeps the UK warm during the winter and cool during the summer, June, July, August, start of September. So the UK, compared to other countries this far north, is warm in the winter, but quite cool in the summer. So the temperature doesn't change that much. It is what we call a maritime climate. Maritime means sea. Whereas, for example, in Russia, in Canada, in America, you have continental climates. Continent. Europe is a continent, Africa is a continent, South America is a continent, North America, Asia, Australia probably, yes. These are all continents. So when you are far from the sea, maybe not in Africa, in Russia, far from the sea, it gets very hot and very cold. So it is extreme. Whereas if you are near the sea, like in the UK, it's much, there's much less difference between the summer and the winter. Much less of a variation. It's less up and down. So Russia can be like this. Summer very, very hot. Winter very, very cold. Whereas the UK is more like this. Yes. So that's the Gulf Stream drives the weather and the climate in the UK. Okay. Now, let's look at the UK in a little bit more detail. So, the UK is not that big. From the northern tip to the southern tip is less than 1,000 kilometres, maybe about 1,000 kilometres. So not that far. But the weather actually changes quite a lot depending on where you are. First, okay, I will talk about the winter. The coldest place in the UK is about here in Scotland, in northeastern Scotland. A little town called Braemar is the coldest place in the UK. And interestingly, in the UK, there's a big split between the east coast and the west coast. So north, south, east, west. I will rub these out. Compass: north, south, east, west. North, south, east, west. The east coast is much colder, especially in the winter, January, February, March, December. East coast, much colder. The west coast is warmer or mild. Warm means like comfortably warm. Mild means not cold. So in the winter, the east coast is cold. It is often below 0 degrees Celsius. So ice, 0 degrees C, and ice. It is often freezing temperature, which means snow. Whereas in the west coast, in Scotland for example, snow is less common. Inland, away from the sea, you get more snow. And on high land, for example, in the mountains in the highlands of Scotland, again, it is colder. Because it gets colder the higher you go. So, the coldest place in the UK is here. I think the coldest temperature recorded in the UK is about minus 30 degrees Celsius in this town. So this is the coldest place. In terms of the wettest place is a town here, about here in Scotland. It is at the foot of the biggest mountain in the UK called Ben Nevis. This town is called Fort William and it rains so much there. But it is a really nice place. So, the coldest place is in Scotland. The wettest place is also in Scotland. This is the winter. And although I said the UK is not that big, it's quite small, there's a big difference in temperature between the north and Scotland, especially the northeast, and the south of England, where it is often 10 degrees warmer in the winter. It's much, much warmer, yes. Okay, so that is the winter. What about the summer. Oh, interesting. In the winter in Scotland, on the west coast, it's normally between 0 and 8 degrees Celsius. On the east coast, between, I don't know, maybe 5 degrees colder. And in England, it's normally south of England, maybe 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, maybe warmer. What about the summer? In the summer, again, I will talk about Scotland because I live in Scotland, so I know more. In Scotland, in the summer, it rains a lot, especially, again, in the west, because the winds come from this direction. So the west is wet, the east is much drier. So wet, dry. The east is dry. Normally, the temperature here in the summer is maybe June, July, August. I think August is the warmest month. February is the coldest. So in August, maybe 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. Whereas in London, it is much warmer. Much warmer. It's often greater than 30 degrees Celsius. So even though the UK is quite small, the difference is huge, 10 degrees or more. Often here it's 15 degrees, whereas in London it's 32, 30. Yeah, it's a big difference. So, yes, and the wind, again, the west, it rains a lot in the summer, whereas the east is very dry. So it rains a lot less here. Okay, so that is a rough description of the climate. What are my favourite months? Well, I think that the best months in the UK are April through to maybe June. April, May, June. These are my favourite because it is warm, but not too warm. It's not really hot, and it rains less. So it rains less in these months. This is often when we have our best weather. So if you want to come to the UK, I suggest May or June. July and August are also good, but it often rains more. And September and October are good, but a bit cooler. Especially October, it is cooler than it is maybe the same as the start of April, but it is still nice. My favourite months are these. My least favourite month is November, because it gets darker and darker and darker. The sunset gets earlier and earlier and earlier, and it's very wet, and the weather's getting cooler and cooler, and Christmas, the 25th of December, is still far away. So I don't like November, no. December is better because we have Christmas and Santa Claus and presents, and all of the excitement of Christmas. And January is a little bit depressing because people would have less money, because they have spent all of their money at Christmas time. February, the sun is coming back. The sunset starts to get later and later, so that is good, but it is very, very cold. Yes, but yes, I think November is the worst month. So November, the worst. May, the best. So especially in Scotland, because in July and August it rains quite a lot. In the south of England, in London, it is less rain that is the problem, rather the very hot temperatures. London can get so hot in the summer, so hot. But still, it is a great place to go. In the summer, there are parties and festivals, people drinking on the streets. It's a really cool place. Yeah. Okay, so that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope that you have learned something. And if you are planning to come to the UK, maybe now you can be better prepared. So yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!